So, the Dallas Mavericks are now looking to trade Klay Thompson.
LeBron James made a shocking revelation that stunned the entire world. Klay Thompson will formally join the Lakers. Fans are raving over the surprising decision, which seems to have more questions than answers. What is the true motivation behind this exchange? Then, all the information is right here. Let's dissect it. How we got here, the perfect storm. In NBA circles, there have been rumors that Klay Thompson might join the Los Angeles Lakers. Furthermore, these are not your usual off-season rumors that eventually go away. No. There are origins to these rumors. They have substance and a history. We're talking about conversations that go all the way back to Thompson's summer 2024 free agency period, when the renowned shooter was considering his options following what can only be called a difficult and unhappy exit from the Golden State Warriors. This is when things start to get interesting. The Lakers were reportedly ready to offer him a better contract than the one he eventually signed from the Dallas Mavericks, making them a formidable challenger at the moment. Take a moment to consider that. Compared to Dallas, the Lakers were prepared to pay more. Thompson, nevertheless, went with the Mavericks. Why? We'll address that in a moment. But basketball and money weren't the only things that drew people in. The relationship was very intimate. According to reports, Thompson's father, Mike Hall, a former Laker and current team commentator, supported the decision. Can you picture your father, who used to play for and currently works for a franchise, advising you that this is where your career should end? That is really strong stuff. But hold on, there's more. In an attempt to attract him, LeBron James himself made contact. "Hey Klay, come play with me in LA, said LeBron James, the player who faced Thompson in 4 straight NBA Finals and faced off against the Warriors dynasty. It's not your average recruitment pitch. That demonstrates how much LeBron values Thompson's skill and thinks the Lakers may benefit from having him. Thompson, however, chose Dallas because of the financial benefits of playing in a no-state income tax climate and the chance to pursue another championship with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Lakers supporters were heartbroken by this decision, particularly in light of Thompson's California heritage and the lyrical symmetry of him wearing purple and gold. The man's boat is docked at Marina del Rey, after all. The Lakers' Hermosa Beach practice facility is only 5 or 10 minutes from his home. Los Angeles was the ideal choice based on all the factors: geography, family ties, and legacy.
His house is actually 5 or 10 minutes away from the practice facility in Hermosa Beach, so everything was perfect for him to finish his career.
However, this option was never completely ruled out, and recent events in Dallas have completely rekindled the rumors, transforming what was once a free agency flirtation into a potential mid-season trade scenario. Now let's fast forward to the first few weeks of the 2025 to 2026 season, when Thompson's difficulties and the Mavericks' overall team problems have drastically changed the story. After making it to the finals, the Mavericks saw Thompson as the missing component in terms of perimeter shooting and veteran acumen. However, he has had difficulty integrating. Here, we're not discussing small changes. With the team lingering around mediocrity and experiencing defensive lapses, we're talking about a total mismatch between expectations and reality. Rumors in the front office indicate that they are willing to investigate his trade value prior to the February deadline. I'll say it again. This man was just signed by the Dallas Mavericks months ago, yet they are already trying to trade him. Things have grown so horrible.
So, the Dallas Mavericks are now looking to trade Klay Thompson. Not happening.
The situation has become so bad that it's no secret that Nico Harrison and the Mavericks front staff will look into Klay Thompson's potential return before the trade deadline. You can tell that everything has gone totally wrong when front office plans are no longer a secret. But from a basketball standpoint, this is what makes this tale so intriguing. Thompson's experience with high-pressure settings and his potential to flourish in a system that prioritizes spacing around stars like LeBron James and Anthony Davis are cited by analysts. This is how the theory works. Thompson may find some of his old rhythm in Los Angeles, away from the heliocentric offense in Dallas, where everything revolves around 1 or 2 creators, especially with less defensive attention directed at him amid the Lakers' star power. Consider it. Thompson is positioned as a catch-and-shoot specialist in a Dallas system that prioritizes heliocentric playmaking, which means that one or two key creators are responsible for a large portion of the offense. However, he flourished in Golden State's motion-heavy offense, where screens were continuously created and the ball moved, allowing him to take advantage of his movement and conditioning. With LeBron's ability to create plays and AD's strength in the paint, the Lakers could be able to offer Thompson something more in line with what he needs to be successful. Fans and experts are debating packages that may include young talent or expiring deals to make the finances work under the league's salary limit restrictions, which has exacerbated these notions on social media. We are discussing comprehensive trade proposals that are circulated on Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, and other platforms. Fans have taken on the role of armchair general managers, and some of their suggestions aren't all that horrible. The possibility of a multiplayer swap that meets needs on both sides is one of the more intriguing aspects of these rumors. In exchange for assets like Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, or even Dalton Neck, Thompson is frequently paired with another Maverick like Daniel Gafford, whose rim protection might strengthen the Lakers' frontcourt depth. Reeves is now a younger, more athletic option who might add vitality to Dallas's roster. He is a fan favorite in Los Angeles because to his playmaking and tenacity. Although a Maverick squad in dire need of strengthening its shortcomings could find Vanderbilt's defensive diversity appealing, these suggestions aren't without dispute. Thompson's current performance, according to his detractors, does not warrant giving up promising youth. They call him beyond washed and wonder if adding him will actually improve a Lakers team that is already struggling with injury issues and irregular rotations. Here is the counterargument put forth by the supporters, and it has some substance. Thompson's deal isn't too onerous, and if he recovers in a comfortable West Coast environment, he might give the Lakers the spacing they need, particularly in postseason situations where his winning history is evident. We are discussing a four-time champion, a player who has made some of the biggest shots in NBA history, and a person who understands what it takes to succeed under pressure. At this point in his career, the question arises, is the Klay Thompson we see in Dallas the real Klay Thompson? Or is he just performing the wrong role in the wrong system, in the wrong circumstance? Because the Lakers might be getting a steal if it's the latter. However, the Lakers would be making a grave error by trading away youthful talent for a player whose greatest days are obviously behind him if it's the former. If this is just who Klay is now at 35 years old following horrific injuries to both his ACL and Achilles. The context is crucial at this point, so we must apply the brakes and take a close look at what's going on in Dallas. The Dallas tragedy, comprehending Thompson's hardships. Okay, so the historical background and the circulating rumors have been established. The elephant in the room, Klay Thompson's real performance with the Dallas Mavericks, must now be addressed. Because if we're being completely honest, it has been disastrous. Furthermore, I don't use the word carelessly. Allow me to illustrate the severity of the situation. With the squad lingering around mediocrity and experiencing defensive lapses, Thompson's assimilation into the Maverick scheme has been difficult. To put it mildly, though, we are not merely discussing a time of adjustment or a delayed start. We are discussing historically poor basketball.
I mean, look, he averaged 20 points per game coming back off an ACL and an Achilles tear and won a title.
Performance-wise, Thompson's tenure with the Mavericks this season has been a story of adaptability and inconsistency. His field goal percentage is about 27%. Being one of the most effective and dependable shooters in NBA history has been the foundation of this player's whole career. A player who once finished a quarter with 37 points. A player who finished a game with 14 three-pointers. He is currently filming 27%.
He's averaging 8 points per game on 34% of the field. And this is a guy that got, the Warriors didn't want to keep him, so he got pissed off.
However, basketball is never as straightforward as looking at shooting percentages, so we must be fair and give context. To be fair, Klay has a reputation for starting seasons cold, and they're using an 18-year-old power forward to lead their offense, which isn't good for anyone. For the Mavericks, nobody is scoring well. The Dallas offensive system as a whole is having trouble. This is more than simply a Klay Thompson issue. It's a Dallas Mavericks issue.
To be fair to Klay, he notoriously starts seasons cold, right? And then they are running their offense through an 18-year-old power forward. That's not helping anybody. No one's scoring well for the Mavericks.
In order to control his workload and gradually integrate him, the Mavericks coaching staff, under the direction of Jason Kidd, has experimented with his minutes, occasionally pulling him off the bench. Although it could be deliberate, this bench position is a big change from his starting position in prior seasons. Can you picture informing future Hall of Famer and 5-time All-Star Klay Thompson that he will be coming off the bench? For any player, let alone one with Thompson's background and pride, that is a severe psychological blow. It is impossible to overlook the larger backdrop of Dallas's difficulties. The Mavericks' 2025 to 2026 season has played out like a professional sports cautionary tale where lofty goals collide with unanticipated realities. The club had a new identity going into this season after making an unexpected run to the finals the year before. However, they have stumbled into a period of intense hardship rather than building on that momentum. Given the quality amassed, the offensive was meant to be a strength, but instead it has turned into a glaring weakness characterized by inefficiency and lack of fluidity. When players appear out of sync in a system that requires exact timing and complementary talents, plays that should flow naturally frequently break down. Legends like Dirk Nowitzki have publicly expressed their unhappiness, emphasizing how difficult it has been to watch games due to the team's incapacity to convert open shots or sustain energy. Since it's essential to comprehending Thompson's trade value, let's discuss his contract condition. As part of a multi-team sign and trade that brought him to Dallas, he signed a 3-year contract worth about $50 million in exchange for draft picks and the transfer of assets like Josh Green. The goal of this deal was to secure an experienced presence while providing the Mavericks more flexibility. From a trading standpoint, this deal structure is really fairly team-friendly. For salary cap purposes, it is front-loaded in a way that makes the subsequent years easier to handle. His yearly pay is in the mid-teens of millions, so if a team wants to sign him, they won't be taking on a huge, unchangeable contract. You're getting a short-term, reasonably priced veteran. Here is the harsh truth, though. The realities of aging moderate Thompson's trade worth, which is a combination of proven pedigree and intangibles. He is in his mid-30s, and any arrangement must effectively equal earnings in accordance with the NBA's collective bargaining agreement.
I mean that, based on what he's doing, how many? It has to be in the single digits.
What specifically went wrong is the question that keeps coming up. How did Klay Thompson go from being one of the most sought-after free agents in the summer of 2024 to the Mavericks actively pursuing him a few months later? The injuries that have dogged Thompson's career are partially to blame. The physical toll on his body as a 35-year-old athlete who has experienced both Achilles and ACL rupture cannot be emphasized. These injuries are serious. Few athletes have successfully recovered from these career-threatening injuries to continue playing at their highest level.
I know how hard it is to come back from an Achilles tear, and I haven't really been able to. I've literally, I tore my Achilles. I'm 29 years old right now. I tore my Achilles when I was 25. I'm still not right.
There is a measured and actual reduction in athletic performance. Like many veterans managing their physical mileage, Thompson has had to contend with ailments and role changes throughout his career. However, what we're witnessing in Dallas goes beyond typical aging. We are witnessing a player who may have lost multiple steps, not just one. Although it was never exceptional, his lateral quickness in defense has significantly decreased. His jump shot's elevation has dropped. His previously limited ability to create separation off the dribble is now virtually non-existent. The squad had to rely on younger or more adaptable players in Thompson's absence after he was recently absent for a game owing to an illness, adding another layer to his adjustment period. However, his influence has been minimal even when he is well. There have been times when Thompson's agility and self-assurance have been evident, but they have been broken up with periods of quiet performance, including games in which his influence seemed subdued. Now, as it relates to Thompson's headspace and focus, let's talk about something that has been making the rounds on social media. There is video of him at airports. I won't get into specifics regarding his personal life, But this is the main point. People begin making connections and questioning priorities when a player is having difficulty on the court and there are unfair or justifiable distractions off the court.